Betty
Right.
Bite. Betty
Middle
Bite.
Coast, West Coast. I don't know, one of these coasts.
All right, welcome to episode 38 of the Beer and Bullshit Show. I am the host, Chris Bennett, and we're actually starting on time for once. Oh my God! Woo! It's a miracle. Miracles do happen here on the Beer and Bullshit Show. We got two wonderful guests tonight. One is another beer reviewer, and the other one is a longtime personal friend of mine. And let's introduce the beer reviewer, Dave.
Hey, my name's
Hey,
Dave, and you can find me on YouTube at Beer Sampling with Dave, and you can also find me on Facebook. I'm not hard to find. Look at this lovely face.
So Dave, what are you drinking on?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question. This was sent to me by my good buddy Earl Rums from Facebook. This is the Hopadillo IPA out of Houston, Texas. No doubt. Cheers.
And Dave, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a stout? Do you prefer porters? Do you prefer IPAs? What's your preference?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question, Chris. I like them all, but I prefer IPAs, especially Imperials, or if you prefer double IPAs. Now, this is an IPA that's 6.6% alcohol by volume and 65 IBUs. Goes down real easy, very smooth, easy to drink. And look at the lacing on the side of that glass, my friend. Wow, look at that. Very good. I would recommend this to anybody out of Houston, Texas. Carbach Brewing Company. Nice.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Does it get you drunk? That's all I want.
No doubt, Steven, no doubt.
All right, and the other guest tonight, I really have to say that Steve VanDyke introduced me to the world of blogging with the Hammer of Truth. A lot of people who wrote for him are now, a few of them are shakers and movers within the libertarian movement. And he gave me the inspiration to basically the obnoxious
Just obnoxious.
Steve's fault. That is Steve's fault. So, Mr. VanDyke, what you sipping on, bro?
A shock top. I think I need another one though. I've already polished one off here now, and it's it's only 30 minutes in, so try to pace ourselves. Maybe.
And
The shock top. What kind of shock top, though, Steven? What is it?
This is the Belgian White. It just tastes like Fruity Pebbles. Is the best description I have of it.
That's a good description. I like that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So I guess, beyond what I'm drinking.
Time he ends up freezing up.
Am I freezing up over here?
You're freezing up, Scott?
Yeah, he tends to freeze up. He's got like I want to say it's not like a very fast internet connection because of the fact that I don't know what type of service he's using, but yeah, this happens quite frequently.
This is bouncing off about 3 different proxies, 7 different proxies. I'm definitely in an undisclosed location.
I think it's
Me, we're in.
All I need to know.
I think it's a CAC, Scott. CAC, keep fast connection.
That I believe. Yes. I think
All
that
right,
is it.
we've hit the nail on the fucking head. All right, good.
all right, Stephen, what have you been doing lately?
Lately, working on elections for a big data house polling company trying to do Hammer of Truth stuff, but you know, life is getting in the way because life is full of actual politics now.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No.
meeting. You know, I've gotten to meet a whole lot of our newly elected leaders, especially here in Colorado. We got Cory Gardner, who's just elected as a Republican, and you know, I think one of the most interesting things about him is he's actually somewhat libertarian. To a degree, obviously, you know, you're always going to have a mixed bag with Republicans, but I think for him, it was what convinced me was trying to be slam dunked on his feminine female rights nonsense that they were trying to just hang around him as a single issue campaign. Lost terribly because he said, you know, if men can get prophylactics over the counters, why can't women? And he wrote that editorial in the Denver Post. And that's pretty much what set it loose. Is giving him the win there. But you know, this is.
What kind of beer was that you just poured there, Ruby? I'm sorry, I forgot Ruby's husband's name there.
Nick.
Nick, what kind of beer was that you just poured out, Nick?
It's Terranina.
Oh, no, where's that from? Let's see.
I think it's Wisconsin.
Oh, I never had that one. Now I need that. Now that's the kind of beer we need here in Ohio, Scott. Shit.
Yeah, it's Lake Mills, Wisconsin. This is Terranina. It's from the Brewers Gone Wild series. It's called The Devil Made Me Do It, Coffee Imperial Oatmeal Porter.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Scott, you ever hear that one, Scott? That's a good beer. What do you think, Scott?
I think muted. I don't know why.
I think he's muted.
I have not seen it, and I agree with Dave. I think it looks very delicious, and I think we do need a beer like that.
It's
Nick,
about lack
Nick,
of
a beer trade, brother. I could send you some Great Lakes Blackout Stout. I bet you don't get that up there in Wisconsin. Bet on that.
Do you have that?
I don't know.
Well, this is a big old black beer with oatmeal silkiness, full-bodied with a soothingly rich coffee flavor, devilishly delicious. And then it's got a devil on it.
Oh, I like that. I think I want some of that.
That's some quality.
Oh, look at that, Dave.
Hey, all right. I bet you don't get Portside, and I bet you don't get Brewville, and I bet you don't get Columbus. Bet on that.
How about some fat heads?
Scott? Hey, Scott, how much you want to bet on that?
I think that's a big right. I think I did a good job.
Bruchetto, Columbus, or Portside? No.
Maybe even some fat heads because the Oregon brewery just opened not too long ago, so I don't think it would distribute out that far yet.
No.
Yes, as you can tell with our new esteemed guest, yes, we are like beer heads over here.
Speaking of Oregon, I went there a couple weeks ago.
Did you actually get a chance to do anything besides business?
Nope.
Oh.
I went.
I'm sorry.
Bars and I bought a bunch of beer and flew it home, and then I drank.
Fatheads actually, the brewer went out there. He opened up his own Fatheads out there in Oregon, and he just opened it. I believe it was like 3 weeks ago, and they're actually getting their brews out west. So you should be getting them soon if they actually can get distributing out towards your way.
Stephen, are you on a spaceship?
I am. This is my mobile spaceship.
I like it.
So yes. I didn't have time to put up all my stickers, but next time. Got Hammer of Truth galore now. Found a nice local guy. And Chris, you're from Littleton, right? Littleton, Colorado?
Originally, yes.
Okay. What made you leave? I mean, Colorado's awesome.
And
Illinois is terrible. Like I just gotta tell you, Illinois is definitely terrible.
Illinois is terrible, but you know, I'm trying to make inroads into the craft beer business, and learning more about craft beer, and then maybe I could be useful to somebody in the distribution part, or the marketing or whatnot. So
I could see marketing. I've never tasted your beer though, but I could see marketing.
So this is for Nick and Ruby, the brew kettle. You ever hear this one? The Black Raja. Scott, what do you
Nope.
think? Man? You
Hey,
like
I
it?
can do you one better, Dave.
What do you got, brother? The White Raja.
Let's see. The White Raja.
Okay, well, hey, we can shower them, and we can shower them with this one too. Look at the leg lamp, brother.
There you go.
That's
Cleveland's
That's
own.
Cleveland for sure.
And Cleveland's own Big Chuck Shadowski barley wine, brother.
What the hell?
This will kick your ass up, side, in, out, and all around town. Kick your ass.
Well, there's a question nobody's asked, and that's Chris. What are you drinking?
Yeah, what's Chris drinking?
yeah, what's the host drinking? Yeah, that's always a good question. I'm drinking the Honey Queen by Sam Adams.
Scott likes that one. Scott likes that one.
Yes, I do. It's a very interesting brew because it's a hybrid. It's a beer mead.
Yum. I like mead.
It gives you a nice biscuity, malty characteristic, but then it gives you that sweet honey kind of like smoothness with a little bit of like silky undertones.
It's Scott White, by the way, brother. I'm still enjoying the Matador with my new seal top caps, man.
Yeah. I was just like kind of cheap this week. I didn't pick that up.
Well, it was only $12.99 down there at 101, man. It was cheap.
Yeah, I know. I've just been on this holiday and winter kick, and I've also picked up what I'm drinking on now, which is Clown Shoes Ride the Lion.
Oh, nice. I saw it. Yeah.
That was $8.99 alone. I've got a bunch of other beers over here that I just can't get through. But
I got a clown shoes for Nick, and he didn't like it.
which one?
The one you held up.
What
Nick
was
didn't like what? What did he
Right,
like?
man.
Oh, you
Ride
don't
the
like
Lion? It's you
I don't
have to
remember what's
particularly be into a lot of wee heavies to like something like this, because wee heavies are traditionally they got a lot of like peat, very malty, very alcoholic.
Well, I know he doesn't like a peaty scotch, so maybe it was the peat. I personally haven't been drinking.
That's a high possibility then.
And the alcohol definitely shines through on those beers. I mean, it's not for timid people, really. It's not.
Oh yeah, it does on this one as well. I mean, I've also had this one barrel aged.
I wouldn't
Well,
call my image.
Actually, that's good. Actually, that's good, Nick, that you don't like it, because that means you're not a true alcoholic yet.
My favorite beer is the Dark Horse Double Crooked Tree.
True alcoholics.
Yes. Dave knows my example of double crooked tree.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that beer. It's
I
not
had,
the pure
I had
alcohol.
2 of those in one sitting, and I was gone, dude. I was like kind of belligerent inside of like a red wine and brew out here, and it was.
I tried to tell the dude. I said, "Look, man, you gotta calm down a little bit. You're way out of control, dude. What?"
Yeah, I had 2 double crooked trees. I had a Doppelbock. I had a 6-point brew.
A Radler.
Yep. And I all that in like under a half hour, 45 minutes, and I was gone.
Man, I drank him down. Like, what the? I'm still on the first beer, and he's like 5 in. What the hell, man?
So, Chris,
This shows.
tonight?
Yes, I do have some good news tonight. Many of you know that I do work for a beer distributor. I'm a merchandiser for Fritz Distributing, but I got a second job working for Friar Tuck.
There's so many fucking jobs, man. When do you have time to drink? Shit.
That's what Wednesday nights are for. Drinking.
Fuck. That's what every night's for.
Right?
All right. Well, anyway, some people have to go to work. Everybody, what the fuck can I tell you? Right, Scott. Right.
Congrats, Chris.
That's awesome, Chris.
Yeah.
When do you do that between the other jobs?
Hey, Scott. Just want you to know one thing. Light's still on over there, brother. It's still on, right there.
I will be up.
Outstanding, Private Pile.
So go ahead, Chris.
I start Saturday.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Dude, what are you gonna do with all that money? Shit. You send us beer or what?
Buy beer and pay for Christmas.
Well, I will let Dave know this because he does not know that Chris is also a home brewer.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, Chris has done, I've talked to him plenty of times, and he's done quite a lot of home brewing, and he would be willing to trade, evidently, for some home brew, some great beers that he can't get.
That's a lot of work, brother. You know what? I got trouble enough cleaning this place up right here. I don't want to clean any extra glassware. You know what I mean? Shit.
I will be getting Chris some beers that he can't get because I definitely do want to taste some of his home beers.
Chris, where are you at? What state are you in, brother?
I'm in Illinois.
Illinois. Oh, so you could send us some Three Floyds. Yeah.
I wish. I gotta go all the way to Munster, Indiana to get Three Floyds.
What city are you in Illinois?
I'm in Springfield.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Which is in the middle of the state. Yes.
Chicago. Shit. We're in Chicago.
No, I don't live in Chicago.
Mm.
Hi, Jim Bab. How are you?
Hello.
Woo, good to see
Welcome.
you.
Oh, look, we got a lot of guests on tonight. Awesome.
What are you drinking tonight, Jim Bab?
You know, I just gotta run up to the fridge. I just turned it on. Hey, Chris, can I ask you something? Can you hear me?
He keeps freezing up again.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah, don't burp him on the sanity, please.
What's he got, a dial-up connection or what, man?
He's downloading updates. He's got to do the Windows thing.
Got a fucking dial-up connection.
Gotta get the latest patches.
What was that? What was that dial-up connection, Scott? AOL. I ain't got an AOL connection.
56K.
Ah, shit. That's fucked up.
Can you hear me now, Chris?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, Chris. Sorry I'm late.
It's
Hey,
okay.
I know we got a full house, but would you mind inviting Kirsten Tynan onto the show? I just was talking with her. She's the Fully Informed Jury Association queen, and I suggested she drop in. I had to cut my conversation short with her, but I suggested that she would have fun hanging out with us. I see we do have a full house though, so if you think it's a bad idea, I understand.
No, go ahead, because Dave said he was getting ready for work at like 9 o'clock, and it's like 15 till, so.
Go for it, man. Do it. Let's get it done.
Hello, James.
All right.
It's finally putting a face to a name, and at least a live face.
Yeah, how about that? Nice. Chris, I put her Gmail address in the message in our group chat. If you see that,
I saw that.
I was going to say something really crass, but I probably shouldn't say that, so forget about it.
I got to run and grab my beverage. I apologize for not being prepared.
How many reviews have you done tonight, Dave?
6.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and this is my 4th beer, so I still got 2 in the fridge. So I might hang around a little while.
What was it? You go finish those before you go to bed?
Oh, absolutely. Man.
Okay.
Well, that meeting isn't shit tomorrow. I just get up and put a suit and tie on and go in there and look like a dildo like I always do. That's the thing about my job. You can't fire me. I'm like a federal judge. I'm like what's that dude's name? What's that dude's name we love to hate? What's his name? The guy that found pubic hairs on the Pepsi can. What was his name?
Clarence Thomas.
Yeah! I'm like Clarence Thomas. But I'm white, and that's even worse.
Yeah, you can't play the race card. There's no race card for you.
You can't fuck with me now.
You gotta suck it up and admit you're racist.
No problem. I can live with that.
So, Steven, where in Colorado do you live?
Colorado Springs.
Nice.
Full view of NORAD, the beautiful mountain that.
Lovely
if
mountain.
If ever have a nuclear war, I'll just see you guys in the afterlife because there will be no more me.
What do you do out there?
I work for a political research firm right now, political consumer and market research. It's a beautiful job because it's everything I've been doing all my life anyways, working in politics, working in public opinion, and it's my ability to just make money off of that. I mean, God knows I worked on so many campaigns that I didn't make much money or any money, and now it's finally something I get paid for.
That's awesome.
Does it? Sorry to interrupt anybody, but does it go from anybody's public opinion to political opinions?
Yes, absolutely. We just came off the election where we were polling, many of these races, weekly or daily, just day after day after day, finding out, just trying to find out. I mean, as you probably saw, so many of these polls were way off. They had no idea there was a huge Republican wave coming until the night of. And
I'm probably the least of the worries when it comes to political opinions because I'll just throw this out there now. Most of my people here know this, is that I'm pretty much a, how do I want to say this, a revolutionist.
Still vote.
A revolutionist. I'm like, I miss the fact that there was a no man back then to what there is today. I mean, there's nobody to actually stand up and say, no, we're not having this. No, we're not paying that. No, we're not, for that that tax, that levy, that building, et cetera, et cetera.
And here's the thing: I totally agree with how you feel about that, but at the same time, silence is becoming consent. If you're silent about you don't vote, you don't participate in the system, that's becoming a form of consent for them.
Right.
I think Obama, the day after the election, came out and said, okay, 2/3 of the populace didn't vote.
Right.
They must be on my side.
We're winning.
But at the same time, that's one of the things that I've been going around recently is that there's no law that you actually have to pay income tax.
Yes, there is.
There's no physical law.
Really a law. There is a law.
No physical law.
I would dare you to try not to.
The law.
You can test it.
I can really quickly explain the law to you. It's a bunch of thugs with guns, and if you don't pay them, they shoot you. Okay?
There it is.
That is the law, and whatever is scribbled on some piece of paper somewhere is completely irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly.
May or may not be scribbled.
It's like the mafia. They want their cut. They really want their cut. If you don't give it to them, they'll come after you and
kill you.
Those are nice things you have. It'd be a shame if you lost them.
Right.
They will kill you.
That's why
they will steal your children. They have no limits.
That's my point right there. Is because of the fact that it's like, okay, the government now wants to put in place this no bullying in school antics, but yet when you don't pay your tax, when you don't pay your taxes, it's like, give me your lunch money, kid. So it's almost the same thing. I mean, they go against exactly what they say they're going to do constantly.
I hate them.
Yes. That's pretty much the best way to say it. I hate them.
Don't fuck with the IRS though. They'll take all your fucking shit and then some. I can tell you that from personal experience.
If I meet the IRS, I don't know, my hard drives busted up, something happened to them. I had to shred them, you know, just because of that. So don't worry. They've taught us how to avoid scrutiny now. Now that they've figured it out themselves. They've taken all the best lessons from their own investigations of people and applied it to this now rogue. It's just rogue. It's absolutely rogue. They have, you know, there's no oversight anymore.
Well, if you want a real education, look at the 16th Amendment and see what the fuck it says in there about fucking income taxes.
Yep.
It tells you exactly what you have to pay, but it doesn't state that you actually have to pay it.
It's just scribbles. Come on, who cares?
Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff that on paper that says you have to pay, and it doesn't matter.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friend. Try not to pay for a couple years, and you'll be fucking sorry as hell. I'll tell you that. Those fuckers have wide and sweeping powers. Believe me. They'll fuck up your whole life. They fucked up my life for a couple years. I tell you, over a couple $100. No shit.
But are they? You know what? It's not even about the money. It's the fact that they need you to obey. That's
Right.
you know, they can always print money. What do they care? You know, what do they care if you pay? The important thing is that you are subservient to their power, and that's all they care about.
You know, I'm one fucking guy, and they $238, and they fucked up my life for a couple of years for $238, which I was completely innocent. I had no idea I owed this money. Yeah, I didn't know I owed the money until I applied for a credit card, and they said, "Well, you have a federal lien." I said, "What the fuck? A federal lien for what?" Back taxes. I said, "What?" And the interest was building every day, and I didn't know about it. I didn't know shit about it. I had to go down there to the fucking federal courthouse and pay all these fucking fees and fines. What the fuck? It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I never got a notice. I got nothing in the mail. And they said, "Well, we assumed that you had the mail." I said, "You assume what? You made an ass out of you and me. What? I didn't get the fucking mail. Don't you think if I would have got a fucking notice in the mail that I would have taken care of it? A normal person would fucking take care of that shit. And I like to think I'm normal, although I drink a lot of fucking beer. What the fuck? Come on now. If I get a notice in the mail from the IRS, you got my fucking full attention. Oh, fuck. What the fuck is this? I'm going to call my attorney first thing. What the fuck?
How do you really feel?
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, you know what? Allow me to go in here to the other room and I'll get a couple of pieces out of my fucking drawer. Yeah, I'll show you how I feel.
Don't let them get you down.
Yeah, I'd love to go down to the federal building and shoot it full of holes, but you know I got to go to jail then. See, I wouldn't do well in jail. I'm an old man. I don't do well in jail, you know.
Plenty of old guys in jail. Don't worry about it.
No.
Speaking of that
Guys get married.
blew my mind.
You talking about Bernie Madoff? What the fuck? He probably sucks.
No, my going to the extent is Charlie Manson actually able to marry a 26-year-old woman.
Can you believe? Let's raise our glasses to Charlie. Seriously, you know, I have friends that aren't mass murderers that are having trouble finding girlfriends and dating, and they live on the outside and everything.
No.
Charlie Manson should be an inspiration to every single guy out there. There's somebody for everybody.
I think it's fantastic that Charles Manson is finally being punished. It's
side pictures of when he looked like in 1969, what he looks like today. The only difference is he's got the fucking swastika on his forehead, but he looks exactly the same. He's fucking crazy. Except for that swastika, he looks exact. I mean, he looks pretty fucking good for a guy who's 80 years old. Yeah.
Well, he's finally going to get what the system couldn't give him, which is constant nagging.
It's the government cheese. It keeps you healthy.
Right.
So Nick did something really nifty with a beer with a beer thing. Can I talk about the beer?
I was going to say, have you guys? I know I came in late, but did I miss the important part?
Go ahead.
Nick was drinking this beer that's really awesome. It's a coffee imperial oatmeal porter by Karenina, and it's called The Devil Made Me Do It.
Yeah, we want that.
What's that?
Yeah, we want that. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah.
Okay, but what I was talking about was that Nick and I drink a lot of carbonated seltzer water, just like seltzer water, you know, lemon flavored, orange flavored, whatever. And we were spending a hefty amount of money doing this. So for the past couple months, we've been like trying to figure out how to do it. And then like this one little thing, I was just you can talk about it. This is this thing. Tell them what it is.
Well,
I don't know.
you screw a 2-liter bottle in this side, and then you use a corny keg adapter, like a soda keg, and you hook it up to your kegerator and carbonate your own tap water. And it's
Pennies on the dollar.
it's free.
And it's perfectly seltzery water.
So pretty much
However,
creating your own seltzer water.
Yep.
Yes! The other night we created a sparkly
Oh yeah, I carbonated some coffee.
carbonated coffee, and we also did a carbonated screwdriver.
Baby. I give you a
They're
nice
onto something when they're carbonating coffee, dude. They're onto something.
We're carbonating like everything. It's like, I wonder if you can carbonate that.
Milk.
We're just gonna like, start carbonating every single thing. So anyway, it's awesomely easy. It takes like 2 seconds, and it's freaking delicious. And this was what, $13, $12?
Yeah.
I give you good seltzer water, baby, not cost. Okay.
Well, and let me ask you this: are you doing your part for global warming by releasing more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere?
I'm sure I am.
Bottling it. They're literally bottling it. They're helping the environment.
I also fart. So does Nick.
Methane is a much worse greenhouse gas.
Wow,
So,
that was
good.
just phenomenal.
Too much information.
I'd like to try carbonated coffee. Do you remember there was a coffee Pepsi? I think I don't know, 10 years ago. Do you remember that?
The one.
Yeah, it was that. Wasn't that
Kona Cola or?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I don't drink soda, so.
It was terrible anyway.
The Monster Java or the Monster Coffee carbonated.
It is, and it didn't taste much different than that, except there's no bullshit like in it.
It's just cold coffee and carbonation.
It's like coffee from a French press and then carbonated.
While it's still hot?
No, you got to make it cold or else it won't take the gas.
It has to be chilled water, or chilled, whatever it is has to be cold.
So in other words, it just does not work with methane.
So if anybody has a kegerator that they're not using because it's not economical anymore, then you should get one of these.
And use your CO2 to make seltzer water. Instead of spending $12 every 2 weeks on seltzer water, you can make your own forever.
How much does a can of CO2 cost?
It's a 5-pound tank is filled for $15, and it'll probably last about 6 months.
Hence, when you get a kegerator to carbonate your own beer.
Yeah.
We have a kegerator. It just doesn't have beer in it.
Oh, what is wrong with you?
It's not economical. Like I can go and buy.
Well, to brew your own and then put it in
yeah.
the kegerator.
That's fine, but I don't have time for it right now.
Oh.
I can get a 5-gallon keg of like.
Dogfish Head.
No, like single white IPA from Boulevard, and it's $60. Or I can buy the same amount in 6-packs for $60, and it's the same amount of beer. It's like, and then I'm not stuck drinking the same thing all the time, and I can, I don't know. Back in the day, when I lived in California, and I could get a keg of, like a full 15-gallon keg of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale for $70, that's when it made sense to use it.
I love you.
So what are you guys drinking right now?
It's this coffee beer.
Huh.
Devil made me do it. by Tyrannina. What are you drinking, Jim?
I have so many great beers in the house right now. I had trouble choosing, but I went for the Founders Dark Penance. Have you guys had this one? It's a Founders
Very
Black
nice.
IPA.
That's good.
Very nice.
I mean,
A tad bit expensive in my opinion, but very nice.
I don't remember how much it costs, but I don't know. It is delicious. I had it on tap. I think it's fairly high alcohol. What's the alcohol content? I think it's like 8 or 9%. 8.9. Okay.
Oh, it's a session.
What's that?
Isn't this one like 9 something?
He called it a session.
Yeah. It's under 10%, so it's a session, right? Right. But it is. I mean, I love pretty much anything from Founders. Coming up next, I've got Creaker from Ithaca. You guys are probably familiar with Ithaca Flower Power. It's their like most famous beer.
Right.
This is a double IPA, and I just got a 12-pack called their Hop Box. It's got a black IPA, this double IPA, a red IPA, and plus some flower power in there. So that's pretty cool because there's really only 1 or 2 beers we normally get from Ithaca Brewing down here. So I tried those at a tap takeover the other day at Capone's, which is like our beer mecca, and they were all outstanding. So quite pleased with that acquisition.
Dave and I know somebody that reviews nothing but Ithaca beers, and no.
No?
No.
Right. I agree, Scott. And no, I don't want to.
I will say this: the beer, okay. The reviewer, no.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, brother. I know what you're talking about.
Only because of the fact that she's a nut job.
No doubt. No doubt.
And she does not like Ithaca. Is that what you're saying?
She's all about Ithaca. She lives not too far from Ithaca, and she's just one of those reviewers that actually pulls all her information and everything from all the review sites and then just writes it down and just rereads all of what she had got. I mean, she makes sticky notes all over her computer screen about what she should say.
Scott, she goes like this.
Reads them. Oh, this is a pretty bouquet of a head, and then she says,
Scott, look like this.
Exactly what Dave's doing right now.
She doesn't know where the camera's at.
I think you're just mad because, Scott, you know what happens is a woman reviews beer and suddenly, hits her through the roof on that.
Right. It's amazing. A woman reviews a beer. Oh, my God.
I'll give you a bouquet of head.
I know.
Thank you. There it is.
That's bouquet.
That's all I thought about. That's literally all I thought about when you said bouquet of head. I was like, what is this? Some kind of one woman, 15 guys?
No,
let's not go down this road. No.
What the hell's going on here with this bouquet?
No, that is not a bouquet. It's a bukkake.
Nice, Scott. I like that.
Hey, so Jim Bab, you posted something on your wall about keeping a scammer on for 58 minutes or something.
Oh, it was the Windows support guy. He was very helpful.
Oh, I bet.
Doesn't sound good.
So,
They've called before, but the last time I kept him on for like half an hour. And I'd even do stuff like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. Hold on. I'd take him into the bathroom and make like a lot of gross noises and stuff and see if he'd enjoy it. Or just
awesome.
to see like how ridiculous I could be and them still stay on the line. And once, and the more time they spend on the line, the more they want to like see if they can like get you to where they want you to be, which is to install some remote control software. But it's funny. I was doing stuff like, because I don't even have Windows, so they tell me like, okay, now press the Windows key and R, okay, and then tell me what you see on the screen. So I'm going on Google, I'm typing Windows R key, like, oh, it says it's the run screen. Oh, okay, good. Now type this. I'm like typing in whatever he tells me, so I'm giving him feedback like I'm on a Windows machine.
That's awesome.
And then I'd like go help Violet with her homework or have some dinner or, you know, like, excuse me, I'll be right back, you know, just keep them on hold or, you know, play video games or whatever. Like,
Hilarious.
I don't know what else to do with those guys. I mean,
well, apparently, you know, I qualify for a $8,000 government grant from a person that can't speak English whatsoever.
Yeah, they call us all the time.
well, you are in Illinois, so that could be legit, you know.
Oh, wow. They call from 1 or 2 different numbers, and if you call them back, they just answer the phone in Spanish. They're like, Buenos tardes, and as soon as you say anything in English, they just hang up on you. So we called them back like probably 100 times one night, and we got them to go off a few times, and you know, I'm sure that when a lot of people call them and they start spewing a bunch, you know, they can't most English speakers don't speak Spanish. So when you call and somebody starts cursing you out in Spanish, you have no idea. And I have a feeling that some people would call and say derogatory things towards them, you know, being Hispanic or whatever, go back to Mexico, that kind of thing. I told them, what did I say? I was like, go back to France, you filthy hippie.
It was funny, and then and then we like loaded up some Goya commercials and stuff, and like when we would call, then we'd hit play, and they would just like play a commercial, and it was, I don't know, it was
that
fun.
really pissed them off.
It did. It was funny though. We probably
it's really fun to harass people by phone. It's taken me back to my college days. There was this guy. There was some like frat guy, and he had like thrown a rock at like my friend Cindy. Okay, one time. Like we didn't know why he did it, but like this really nice girl, and this guy was a total dick to her. So like we sort of like figured out who he was, but he didn't know any of us. We were just like, we're gonna make him a project. So we just started calling him, and we wrote a song about him and stuff, and we play it on his answering machine, and we just kept dogging him and dogging the poor guy. And then
before caller ID.
Well, this was before caller ID and stuff. So then one day he gets in my cab. Okay, I drove a cab in college, and I see him. He's in the cab, and I'm like, okay, I drop him off at a restaurant with his friends. So, and you know, he has no idea who I am, right? So I call my friends. I'm like, he's at this restaurant. They paged him at the restaurant. And played his theme song for him over the phone, like like brought it like Chris Nebel, you have a call, please come to the information desk. You know, who's calling me?
That's awesome.
Anyway, you know, that's what you get when you're a stoner. You've got no entertainment, and there's, you know, you're completely immature. You know, hey, have you ever seen one of those services where you can alter your caller ID to be anyone you want?
Yes, I've heard of those.
Motherfucker, ID.
I have one.
It can be. I have a friend who uses it to torment politicians and stuff. Like he'll make it look like it's coming from the district attorney, and they like answer the phone and stuff when you do that, or like. It'll be from
President Obama.
Like if he's the kind of guy that like snoops around and gets into like the personal business of local politicians, and like if he knew somebody was having an affair, like he'd get her name and put that on the caller ID and like really just screw with people in a major way.
Yeah, I get calls from Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. Yeah, it's really fucked up, man. Well, hey, man, I got give a shout out to Chris over there for having me in tonight, man. Scott, thanks for inviting me in, but I gotta get the hell out of here because I'm a little bitch and I gotta go to work tomorrow. So fuck.
All right, man. You have a good night.
Yeah, cheerio, bros. Talk to you later. Peace out.
All right, thanks.
Did we lose Chris?
No, he's still there.
I think a beer review guy could drink more. I'm just, you know, kind of interested. He's can't hang in the hangout.
He already did like 6 reviews this evening.
Okay, so I didn't know exactly who he was. He does beer reviews, or
Yeah,
okay.
that's Dave Coulter. He does beer reviews. He's beer samplings with Dave on YouTube.
Got it.
So,
okay.
The political operatives win. We can hang harder than the beer review guy.
I also do beer reviews on YouTube. Beer Geek Beer Reviews, all one word. And I'm drinking a 10%er right now. I don't know if you've all got the heads up because Dave was rambling on. Clown Shoes, Ride the Lion, Wee Heavy.
Ah, Clown Shoes. Very good. Well, you know what? I think there's never been anyone that ever said the Beer and Bullshit show was too short and we just couldn't hang long enough. I think
Never. I mean,
that's never been a criticism.
I want more.
Remember at the beginning when we do like
Actually,
3
I got a question for James. I got a good question for you, buddy. A while ago, you used to do the We Won't Fly project, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Whoopi Goldberg called you a terrorist.
Yeah. So.
Called you a terrorist. Well, I mean, really, like, how do you? I never got to hear your response to that. I mean, I heard her call you names, and the whole View crew, I think, would just piled on there too.
Oh, it was really fun. Well, it was a real highlight for me of that whole campaign. You know, and in the same segment, they also came down on Ron Paul. And well, they were like, Ron Paul.
Let's get back to the point where Whoopi called you a terrorist.
But you know what? Seriously, she's calling me a terrorist, and you know, have you seen Sister Act 2?
Do you think any of those women actually have like the time to form their own opinions about things? Or are they just reading what somebody's telling them to do for entertainment? I mean, to me, I can't stand that show. I can't stand it. But the only time I've ever seen it has been like clips here or there, like where somebody will post like the most absurd thing, and I'm just like, it's like they can't think for themselves if they wanted to.
Well, you know what's funny is that she was even like, she's so clueless. Okay, she was like, you know, they're telling people not to go through the scanner. They're telling people not even to, you know, and they're like, you know what? And those people, they're probably not even flying on Thanksgiving. That's what they're doing. They're just staying home on Thanksgiving. Who do they think they are? Telling other people, what are these people with? We won't fly. Well, they're not even flying. What's up with that? You know, like, it's so fucking stupid.
Welcome to our new guest.
They won't fly economic terrorists. That's what it is.
Look, we got
You're
Kirsten.
ruining the economy.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank
Please
you.
welcome Kirsten.
I found something appropriate.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys know
What is
Kirsten
this? What is
Tynan,
this?
the
Well,
queen
what
of the Fully Informed Jury Association?
I have to pop. Hold on. Sorry to interrupt you. I have to pop up her screen. What has she got?
Hold it up a little higher.
You have to make some noise, Kirsten, so it stays.
Yeah, talk.
There we go.
Collaboration, not litigation.
No offense there. She's got a beer that is not made by AB InBev.
I've heard of that beer, actually. Somebody told me a story about it.
Yes, there is a story about it. I don't remember exactly, but I think it was basically that two different brewers wanted to use the same name or something like that. And instead of fighting it out in court, they actually combined their beers. So.
Which a lot of, excuse me, you don't know me, Scott White, Beer Geek Beer Reviews. I do beer reviews, and I would love to say that more beer companies need to actually follow suit instead of fighting in court, instead of fighting over money and litigation.
They need to follow suit.
Get together. It's like you said, it's retarded to fight over, okay, an East Coast brewer and a West Coast brewer has the same name of a beer. So what? Get together, hash it out, make the same beer together, and just make money.
Cheers to that. So, Kirsten, why don't you tell us what that beer tastes like? I'm curious.
God, this is a lot on the spot. I don't know. It's an ale. It's I don't know, a little fruity maybe? I don't know. Sorry.
Is it good? Is it good?
I thought it was tasty, but you know, once I get past about here, anything will be tasty, so, you know.
Right on. Nice.
Yeah.
So here on this show, you're basically stuck with a bunch of anarchists, troublemakers, drunkards.
Excellent.
Does that cover
Okay.
everybody here? Anarchist and/or troublemaker and/or drunkard.
Yes.
All right. there you
Yeah,
Nice.
basically. Yeah, you got the wide range. Jane.
Or I like to say American. Just American.
You flipped us around.
What a-
I don't know. How did we get flipped?
Are you flipped?
Yeah.
I will agree with you, Stephen. That is very American.
Kirsten is in Montana.
I am, and I have some beer facts if anyone would like them. I think we're like #2 in the country for craft breweries per capita. So
That's because only 6 people live there. And
yeah.
they-
And I will say, I'm in a town of, I think we have 900 people here. We have our own brewery, so Phillipsburg Brewing Company.
Very nice.
Yes.
Excellent.
And Montana is a big mess for alcohol laws. We actually had to pass a law so that a brewer could increase their alcohol content in a beer. Montana is great for many things, but for alcohol, it's one of the most backward places.
Alcohol percentage to what?
I think it was it was something ridiculous, like 4.5% or
Oh my
Whoa.
God.
something like it's something really ridiculous.
Whoa.
You actually can't buy most liquor in stores here because stores can only send a certain or sell a certain alcohol percentage. So, like things like Irish cream, there's one brand of Irish cream you can buy in the store because it's under a certain percent, but anything real, nope.
No, that's a sexy look.
Well, I think didn't Alabama just sort of get rid of some of those laws in the past year or two? Or I know there's some other states have had some issues that, frankly, would be enough to make me want to just abandon ship and you know.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually have, in our little town, we have, there's, on one corner is the brewery, and across the street is a bar. And the bars hate the breweries. They don't want them to be able to, like, offer tastings and things because it's competition. And so the bar is constantly, like, sneaking over to the brewery to see what's going on and see if they can find any little viation for them to report them.
So
Yeah.
something that I've heard about Montana, and I don't know if this is true or not, that since there's quite a bit of like reservations there, that everybody is anti-alcohol.
Oh, not true. No, yeah, I actually have been out drinking openly on the street and took my picture next to a cop car because they don't care.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
And if
you know
look
when
up-
your beer is limited to 4% alcohol. Drinking.
Oh.
Well, you can actually
I'm from the
get
South as well. I can tell you're allowed to drink
I'll be
straight
right back.
down
you can
there.
actually get to-go cups from bars here,
Yes.
even for like mixed drinks. So yeah, we actually have a really big drunk driving problem, and so I think probably the people who are against alcohol here are the people who are like the ones starting. Well, we're the home of the anti-meth campaign. This is the state where all that started. So,
Your
but
fault.
it's usually that one was actually bankrolled by a California guy who came in and decided to fix Montana's alleged meth problem.
Well, now my meth is half the price. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of it is from outsiders.
We're all
So
hats now.
I'm guessing that the people who don't like it are not the hometown crowd. But if you look up, if you Google Butte St. Patrick's Day on, or look it up on YouTube, you'll see pictures of there's just like parties openly in the street. I mean, it's
That's what Savannah, Georgia is what I was going to say is that it's
That's my hometown. Got to testify.
you?
It's yes. You can drink on the street in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, that's where I live.
I had a few too many because I'm watching your screen as it like does all sorts of crown. Y'all are just playing with your settings over there.
Yeah, well, you're actually from Savannah, Georgia?
Yes.
I've lived there for 36 years.
How many years?
36.
Oh, so you're still there?
No.
No? All right.
I'm older than 36.
What?
Yeah, I'm older than 36.
Yes. You can
Nice
drink
bangs,
on
by the
Georgia
way,
on the street within a certain parameter area. You're allowed to drink on the streets. It's
Just like 2 years ago, they actually, or maybe like 4 years ago, they limited the size of a to-go cup to 12 ounces.
What?
And there was this place called Wet Willie's on River Street, which served frozen drinks in these cups that they had made. And you could get a small, medium, or large. I think the small was probably like 12 ounces, and then 20, and then like 32. But now, in order to walk out the door, you have to get this shitty little like semi-transparent cups. Everybody has to have the same to-go cup. But that really doesn't defeat you from taking your 32-ounce McDonald's cup and dumping your drink into it and then walking around with your drink. So it's like, how do you really get around that? But
I still think that's an outrage, and I will never go to Savannah, Georgia now as a result. I'm sorry. I will never.
A smaller cup size restriction.
I have my limits. There's only so much tyranny I can endure, and that crosses the line.
You can't bring your big gulp around. It's terrible, awful. The thing with Savannah is like Wet Willie's. I mean, I've been there, and I can tell you a little small drink of so much because it's frozen.
There's no booze in it, probably.
151 proof, or higher, and they're just like freezing it, and you down it, and you're like, oh, that's really good Slurpee, and then it hits you about 3 after, and you're just totally falling in the street, and I can see where people don't want that. It's probably not a good thing to have people, your tours passed out in the street, so. Now
that I'm here in Illinois, they don't allow you to drink on the street. And one day we actually walked the dogs in our neighborhood, and we lived out in the boondocks. We don't live in town. We live in the country, but we live in a neighborhood. And we took the we took a drink with us, like a beer, walking around, and the neighbors were staring at us, like they were gonna call the cops on us for walking the dog with a beer. We were like, screw it.
It's pretty bad, but Cleveland's actually talking about doing the same thing. It's kind of easing the law about walking around with your beer. If you're ever in Cleveland, I mean, almost every, how do I want to say this? Especially if you're in downtown Cleveland, it's like we got so many breweries and so many people that, these brew houses, these bars, these, venues that have so much beer. It's like a mecca of beer that you can't go anywhere and you can get everything that you've ever wanted that is allowed in the state of Ohio up to 12%.
Well, I think downtown Cleveland, walking around with a beer is good. I'd rather walk around with a gun, though.
Right.
You might want to walk
the later
around
it is, the more guns you want.
Well, Stephen, you might want to walk around Savannah with a gun, too. In the past 2 weeks, they've had 9 murders, and then last night, a house, not even in the bad section of town, got sprayed with at least 26 bullets, and they killed a 2-year-old inside the house. So,
Where?
Savannah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Savannah's kind of, and that's 9 murders in 2 weeks, and I mean, for the year, I don't know what it is, but it's freaking stupid. I still get the news on my feed, and it's just crazy. They've declared a state of emergency in Savannah because so many people have died.
Well, something like that could never happen in Colorado because you cannot have more than 15 rounds in your magazine.
Well, I feel better.
I can't buy them. I can't buy the ones with 15 rounds or more. Doesn't say I can't have them.
I'm pleased to report that Montana's upper beer alcohol limit is now a respectable 14%.
Woo!
There's a limit.
There should be no limit, of course, but at least that brings you up, gets you beyond the session.
Breweries now.
Get you better than a state of Ohio where we can't get anything or we can't even brew anything past 12%.
Wow. Well, good. We're not number 50 then. So that's
well. You guys, I don't know if you guys remember, but Philadelphia has. I don't know if have you guys had any armed raids of your bars over beer, like SWAT style raids going on since Prohibition ended?
All the other crimes are solved.
Philadelphia, they do. They did armed raids of bars that were suspected of selling beers that weren't on a certain list. Okay, so before you sell a beer, it has to get on a list. So if you ordered a bunch of kegs of beer and a new one showed up that the brewer just kind of threw in there or something, and you try to sell that, that can trigger a SWAT raid, and they have done this.
Damn.
That's like California's handgun list, where you can't buy a handgun that's not on the pre-approved list. But if you move in from another state, it's okay.
What if I print my own?
There you go.
What about this new thing now where they're like, what was in New York, where they're using the gun registration list to go in and confiscate dead people's guns if their children don't declare them as register them as being like sold or
right.
Their own. They're going in and they're confiscating them in 15 days. They have 15 days to do something with the handguns, or the cops are going around and taking them.
Do you really have to register your guns in New York? I live in Illinois, and we don't have to register guns here. I thought that was... You didn't have to in California.
You're here in Ohio.
Well, there's an important lesson there. First of all, don't ever tell the government when you have a gun. Second of all, don't tell them when you're dead. Okay? There's no need to do that. Okay?
Well,
you can keep getting
the IRS keeps coming.
Okay, let this go out though. When I'm dead, and I'm hoping I'm an
no one squeal.
And Social Security checks are coming in. You know what? Just bury me in the backyard quietly. Don't tell anybody. Okay, keep the checks flowing, and they won't come for the guns. They won't cut off the checks. Just shut up. Just keep your mouth shut, and these problems.
So shoot, shovel, and shut up.
Today,
I told my old lady. I told my old lady to put me in a shoebox and just bury me out back, and just keep collecting.
I was really surprised when I went to the doctor a couple of weeks ago and had to fill out a new patient form, and they were asking, just crazy stuff. But they asked, "Are there guns in your home?" And
I was asked that when I wanted to stop smoking. Like that's even.
Well, to be fair.
You have guns. I was like, I don't know. Am I gonna want to kill myself?
That seems reasonable.
I'm gonna quit this, so I'm gonna.
No. You know what? Just keep smoking. If there's really a chance of you going on a murderous rampage, just keep smoking.
I just can't figure out why that was the doctor's business. To me, it wasn't.
I would be
I told
really...
her it was her business, and she kind of just looked at it and was like, I think that's a yes, right? Like she couldn't. There was no don't know or refused option there. It was just kind of like yes, no, and I never got this no response. Where none of my business, and it wasn't. It was none of their business. But I got a good lecture out of it. Of all the statistics of people who own guns. Terrible things happening to them. And I was like, well, it's terrible things when you don't have one either.
Right.
Do they ask if you have a police officer in your house? Because
that's what they should
statistics are pretty bad on that too.
Wouldn't that be funny?
War?
Yeah, because you're right. You're twice as likely to be a victim of domestic violence. Mm-hmm. That's a legitimate, documented threat.
It is.
Absolutely. I mean, in Savannah again, because I get the news there. There's no less than 3 murders by soldiers in this past year of their wives. So, and that's just in one town.
Yeah, well, again, it's what he said with about, do you have a cop in your house? Or
Yeah.
Kristen there. Kirsten, sorry. I don't have a cop in my house. one thing is you know, I think it's a good internet meme. Is the reason to own a gun is because cops are really heavy and you can't carry them around everywhere. You know, so who's gonna show up when you're in trouble? You know, I've been lucky once in my life where a cop showed up right where I was being robbed. I'll never have that happen again. It will not happen a second time. I guarantee.
That was a lightning strike. So here in Illinois, they just, recently, most people probably know that they have a concealed carry law. I'm not a big fan of it, but whatever. Anyhow, I've noticed that nearly every place I go has a no gun sign. And that includes all the restaurants, all of the places that you go shopping. The city buses have no gun signs on it. So I think it's time to sue.
But does that keep the policeman from getting on the bus? It might not be a bad thing.
No, it's almost like England with the armed police.
Yeah.
They're disarmed in England. Cops still can't carry guns over there anymore.
There is a specific task force that was.
Now they want people to turn their knives in England. So turn
They're
their
trying to turn their knives in. Have you seen those pictures lately?
I can't wait. Listen, go ahead, England. Go ahead, disarm yourself. Give away all your knives, all your guns, and then we'll go over there. We'll take you over with like some butter knives, and that'll be it.
Yeah, they're doing that anti-knife campaign in England now. Like it wasn't enough to take your, Next, they're going to come after sticks. Do you have any sticks? Cricket bats?
Everybody hammers.
Tree branches? Furniture legs?
Like how am I cutting up my meat? I mean, I have a whole drawer full of huge chef knives. I mean, so if I turn in all of my knives in the house, then when I get a chuck roast from the butcher and I want to make stew out of it,
nope.
Nope.
What am I using, like a piece of string or
No,
like?
The queen comes over and cuts it for you.
Oh. That sounds awesome, actually.
Southern Bond.
Hey, I just opened another beer. It's
Blackout Stout. Nice.
Whoa.
This will be my last one.
Because it's also.
Yeah, it will be your last one.
I haven't seen that one from Great Lakes around here. What's the alcohol content?
Oh.
It's like 9.8. Does it even say?
I don't.
It's 9. 9.
That looks like one I would love. How is it?
It's really, really good.
I picked out the beer tonight, and it's good.
Yes.
It's really good.
I'm a good woman. I know how to pick out beer and stuff for my man.
And stuff.
God,
Nice bangs, by the way, Ruby. Did I tell you that? Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't. But thank you. I haven't had bangs since I was like 4.
There you go.
I did it so I could be Peg Bundy, right?
I know. I know.
Did you see the picture?
You're incredible.
That's the Bundy guy is his new wife, right? What?
Not the Bundy Ranch.
There's all sorts of Bundys.
There are a lot of Bundys.
Well, let me ask you this: as you were dressed as the Bundys, did Sheriff Richard Mack try to form a human shield around you with women and children?
I don't know. I was too drunk to notice.
Welcome to the show.
You have to know Richard Mack to get that joke. I don't know if anybody does.
I'm from Arizona, so yes, I know Richard Mack.
What a douche. I'm sorry.
Hey, Jim Bab.
Yes.
Did you see that the Beer and Bullshit show now has competition?
And what is that the Brew and Bullcrap show? What is it?
Bitches and bourbon.
The Wine and Whining show.
There's out now called the Bourbon and Bitches show.
Sweet. Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, we are trendsetters. this format of drunken friends hanging around drinking and bullshitting is an obvious thing to try to steal. It's quite flattering. But we'll be able to match our audience base, I doubt. They can try, but
Who's doing that?
What do they have to be, like 10? It's 10 people watching.
And it's you said it's bourbon? What is it?
Bourbon and bitches.
Bourbon and bit. You know what? I kind of like the sound of that. But I'm not really a bourbon drinker.
It's a good name.
You've dropped in my esteem, Jim.
I can't help but like.
I would be willing. Okay, I take it back. I will learn to drink bourbon for you, Kirsten. I would not let that. I don't want that to interfere with our relationship.
No pressure.
No.
I love bourbon.
Me too.
Who
Also,
doesn't?
right here, this Rebel Yell, it's like $13 and it's
Ooh, I got you.
Rebel Yell. Kentucky Straight Bourbon
Right.
Whiskey.
There's now officially a bourbon shortage.
Really?
Happened. There's now going to be a bourbon shortage. They're running out of.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
It's the economy.
In Montana.
It happens every time the economy tanks.
I've got this Blanton's that's like $50 a bottle.
Yeah. I've got 4 of those with the different horse poses on them.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice, very smooth, and when it's chilled, it is excellent.
I've never had it.
It's good.
Go ahead, make me jealous.
To
It's
me,
like a very
it's
small
the
bottle.
smoothest single barrel bourbon ever to be created.
We went to Maker's Mark a few months ago. That was some fun shit. That was awesome.
Nice.
So Kirsten, you work. Jim Babb was telling us something about it, but what do you do?
I am the director of the Fully Informed Jury Association, and I'm our one employee. I guess I'm technically not an employee.
He is
I'm
the
a
Fully
contract.
Informed Jury Association.
Well, really? It's pretty much all volunteer, so I wouldn't say it's me. I would say it's the volunteers. But we basically, I don't know if you guys are familiar with jury nullification, but
Oh yes.
okay, we
With, Julian,
basically
his last
educate.
name, but Julian, he's an older gentleman, used to hand out pamphlets and got arrested a few times, I believe.
Yeah, Jim's pretty familiar with that.
Yes.
Well, and Kirsten, remember, we're drunken anarchist troublemakers, so of course we know about jury
Right.
nullification.
Well, I never assume. We actually had someone who is donating. He wants to support a particular libertarian program, and so he decided to donate advertising to us on that program to support both of us at once. And so we were working out the details of what was going to be the message, and there was something on there that sounded a little law and order. So I was like, we might want to reword this to, keep the anarchists and voluntarists happy. And someone sent back, well, I doubt they'd be interested in jury nullification. I was like, all right, then I'll just keep to myself who I am. It's like, okay. Yep, no anarchists care about jury nullification.
Why wouldn't they? It sounds very statist to me.
It's very funny. I was like,
Showing up in a
Okay,
courtroom, you have to be some kind of fucking asshole to even do that, right?
you're taking tax dollars by serving jury duty, so it's totally off the...
No,
You
that
get
comes straight from
$3.75.
If I have a job, my employer has to pay it, and he should love it because he gets to pay it less than what
So
I.
in other words, you're just a public butt plug.
Of course, I'm not making him any money, so he's really got to hate it. But
Yeah.
civic service, it's a duty.
Right.
We gotta be on our jury.
Contract.
So what was his name? I know there was an older gentleman who just kept getting arrested over and over and over for bringing out pamphlets coming to court.
Professor Julian Heiklin.
Yeah.
Julian Heiken.
What was his last name?
Heiklin.
Heiklin.
Yeah,
Yes.
we all went to a big gay dance party with Julian.
I danced with him on a box half naked.
Was he half naked, or were you, or both?
I was he made a shit ton of money. I made like $25. I think he made like over 100. I don't know, but like I don't think he took any clothes off at all.
Hence, she had too many clothes on.
I had hardly any clothes on.
Well, he's like a 75-year-old guy, and he's got a fanny bag and an
Yeah.
American flag hat, and he's just like...
He might have taken his hat off.
That was, his performance is, has gone down in history. I think that'll never be forgotten. I wasn't there for that, unfortunately, but I think the story will just perpetuate throughout time. That's probably a PorkFest highlight of.
Yes. But speaking of like old people who are getting arrested, so this jury nullification thing, and I keep screaming it, and I really hope somebody's on it. You know the is it like a Catholic priest that's down in Tampa that's feeding homeless people?
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that case. Right now, at my last check, he was only at risk for 4 months in jail. And in most places, you are not considered eligible for a jury trial unless you are at risk of 6 months in jail or some certain amount of fines.
Well,
so as of right now,
he's already been arrested 3 times from what I've understood.
I know.
Who's to say you don't get due process unless you get a lot of process?
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear in the Constitution. It says in all criminal cases. I mean, it's not even. It's not. There's no haziness. But the Supreme Court has decided that all means 6 months.
Yeah.
Wait, because this is a statutory case.
Yeah.
It's a statutory case, not a criminal case.
I actually exchanged some emails with the mayor of Fort Lauderdale about this.
Yeah.
Are you guys interested in hearing about our conversation?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay. Well, that's. How about if I just keep it brief? I didn't really have time to send the guy like a detailed, explanation of my thoughts. So I just sent him a quick email that said, "Please kill yourself." Okay, I didn't really, I didn't have time,
And his reply.
Anyway, he replies, "Thanks for your input and caring. Appreciate the approach." This is John P. in quotes, Jack Seller. Perhaps you are not aware that I do substantial charitable work for the homeless here in South Florida. Volunteer at the local homeless assistance center, contribute financially to assist homeless programs and benefits, and work on several successful homeless veterans programs and projects. We did not realize that requiring the homeless to be fed in a safe and secure and sanitary conditions would be deemed an attack on the homeless. We did not ban feeding the homeless in the city of Fort Lauderdale. We only regulated the location of those feedings.
I hate it when they call it a feeding. It's like they're giving it to animals.
It sounds like goldfish.
Yeah, or like a breastfeeding, or
Sprinkle the homeless flakes today.
Like these are people, not ducks.
Also, are they giving them a ride to wherever these feedings are? Is there like a public bus that's like got a sign on it that says like, get on this bus to be fed? We're taking you, 1,000 blocks from where you sleep at night on the street.
Scheduled feedings are going to be at 6 p.m. at this location. Anyway, you got to give that old geezer a credit for just saying, "Screw it, I'm feeding them, and I don't care where they say I can be. I'm not asking for their permission. I don't need their permission. I don't give a crap, and I'm not afraid to go to jail. Let's bring it." Just imagine the attention that man has got for his cause now that he never had before. It's an international story. Nobody, here's a guy that's been quietly feeding the homeless for like 70 years. like literally, and nobody ever noticed until they outlawed it. So, bravo, Mayor Seller, you douche. You just expanded by like 1,000-fold, I hope.
I'm not 100% sure of this, but from what I've been reading about Food Not Bombs, the founder actually had a similar issue many years ago and actually got jury nullification in his case. So if it does get in front of a jury, I don't think he's going to have a problem.
Oh, there was Kirsten, there was a case in Orlando, Florida, where food not bombs were feeding the homeless, and they were arrested. I think like 26 people were arrested through over time. Okay, and the majority of them got their cases dropped or something.
That was just like 3 or 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah, what I'm reading in this guy's case, it sounds like everyone pretty much expects it to get dropped also. It sounds like he's done this before and has won rulings in his favor, so basically the city is being idiots.
As a cynical political person, I have to simply say, if you want to beat up the mayor. Just, nobody cares about mayors unless they smoke crack anyway, so he must be smoking crack if he hates the homeless. I mean, more for him, right? Isn't that kind of the consensus here?
What I thought was kind of interesting, the first article I read about this guy, the mayor's big complaint was that he was feeding the homeless without the homeless having to have contact with the government. He was very specific on that point. And I was like, oh, that's the problem?
Wouldn't he get a full credit because of that?
Mm-hmm.
How can they be converted into Soylent Green, if they're not being registered, properly?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen this piece of shit, like, state rep in Hawaii who's going around with a sledgehammer disabling carts? So
that's an older story, yeah. Is he still doing that, or did they get rid of him, or?
I don't know. Maybe it's old, but I just saw a news video on it or something earlier this week. I thought it was insane. This guy's like, stole these carts, so I'm gonna smash them with a sledgehammer. That totally makes sense. Not.
Well, it comes back and it bites these guys in the ass, which is awesome. Do you remember Pensacola, Florida, had the mayor came out with a ban on blankets? Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
I'm looking for the image right now. If I can, I'm going to screen share it as soon as I find it. But anyway, this guy thought, you know what? We're going to just say, you can sleep on the street, but you can't have a blanket. Okay. So somebody took a picture of the mayor who was doing like some like unveiling of something and like pulling like a cloth off, and they combined it with like a picture of a homeless guy on a bench, and it looks like the mayor is like yanking the blanket off of a homeless dude. And it made this devastating graphic. Anyway, my web's a little slow. I'm going to find that and share it. It was just so hilarious. But these things always backfire, and that's what makes it wonderful. It's like this guy in Fort Lauderdale. Nobody ever heard of him, right? And like frankly, I don't really even. I mean, I lived in Philly for a long time, and the homeless people did not have a lot of sympathy with me, okay? Because I knew that they were, they got their hand out 1 minute, they'd just as soon rip you off the next minute if they had a chance. 95.8% of them. It's not really a big concern. Soon as they outlaw feeding homeless people, who's the guy that's into feeding homeless people? They know how to get me interested suddenly, when before I'd be like, yeah, you know what, the hobos, they can take care of themselves. I'm not too worried about it. But I don't know. What are you going to do? I guess it's like the Streisand effect, right?
The movie outlaw something that even if it's not really fun, but don't tell me what to do. That's really don't tell me what to do.
I'm not a first grader.
Don't tell me what to do.
So, Kirsten, I guess you met Chris Bennett, who is our host here on your far left.
I think so, yes.
I guess he's the one that invited you. I don't know if you were previously acquainted, but Chris is old school libertarian from way back.
What does old school mean in this context?
Old school.
Like
the
Libertarian Party?
I maybe
Like
formally
older
interested.
school?
We'll let Chris, you answer that.
Old school meaning that I hold libertarian values, but I tend to associate with a lot of the anarchists, voluntarists on a lot of issues. I want to make sure that things are shifted over to a voluntarist kind of society, to where, because you see every day that government just simply doesn't work. Harry Brown was right. Government doesn't fucking work. Okay? You turn around and government's doing something awful, stupid, just asinine. And what did they do right? Let me tell you what they do right. Okay? They bomb the shit out of other people, and they steal your money. That's what they do right.
Right.
That's pretty much it, actually.
That's pretty much it.
Right.
I'll tell you what it means, actually. As an old school libertarian myself, it's very simple. There used to be only one libertarian girl. That was it. There was just one. And then finally we became cool. And now they're everywhere, so...
Okay.
That's
No,
all.
I won't even go there.
Real old.
I want to hear from Kirsten, because
From Ukraine.
Kirsten, you don't self-identify as libertarian because I guess connotations with the Libertarian Party, but I think of you as a libertarian, and you're a girl. And how long have you had those characteristics?
As far as I know, I've been female all my life. Not saying I remember when I was a baby, but I'm assuming my conservative parents were not monkeying around with anything there, so that's
okay.
Yes. Libertarian, let's see, I can get almost to the year if I just take a moment to think about it. Probably like 1992. And here's actually the funny thing is I grew up in a Reagan Republican household and was anti-drugs and all the because Nancy Reagan and all that. And when I went off to college, I was dating this guy who said all these ridiculous things about how we shouldn't have taxes and stuff. And I was like, of course that'll never work. You know how it goes, right? And I ended up becoming libertarian, and he is now a war hawk. and I wouldn't even, I don't even consider myself a libertarian anymore. I consider myself an anarchist and a voluntarist and an individualist. So I think libertarian, to me, if it includes, like everyone's about the big tent, if it includes some of the people that it includes, then I'd be happy to leave the big tent. So
I think we all agree with you there. What'd you say, Nick?
I said that's Wayne Allen Root talk.
I don't like Wayne Allen Root. I'm not a fan of Bob Barr. I have absolutely nothing good to say about Rand Paul. It's like if you look at the Young Americans for Liberty's conference keynote speakers list, I find that appalling. I just find their keynote speakers absolutely appalling. Like the people who are on there, I'm like, really? That's who you think is about liberty? Okay, then. I guess that's not what I am.
They compete with Students for Liberty, which is way better. It's a way better group. Students for Liberty.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
Yes.
And don't they do it? Don't they do stuff with fee or something like that a lot?
I guess.
That seems pretty respectable. But.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wayne Allen Root, I'm not racist.
Yeah.
I'm not a racist.
You know, listen, nobody's mentioned Wayne Allen Root in like a year, and you have to go bringing him up, guys. Thanks a
You
lot.
understand big print.
Hey, Jim, man, that's my claim to fame, man. You know, all right, racist. How dare you?
What a jerk.
Oh, there was another one. Who is it? Was that guy's name Eric Dondero or something like that? Yeah, he was another one.
Back.
And here's the thing, if I may just take a moment on the soapbox. I refrained as long as I could, but as you can see, due to the level of my alcohol, you know, I just can't control myself at this point. It appalls me that so many people are like, there are no libertarian women and there are all these libertarian men. Well, I put forth that I know tons and tons of libertarian women. They just don't want to call themselves libertarians. And if you look at the quality of the libertarian men, how many of them are these Bob Barr, Wayne Allen Root types? I came from Arizona to Montana, and I was in southern Arizona when I became a libertarian. And what were we known for? We have one of the few elected Libertarian Party people in the United States. And it's a fellow named Scott Stewart who has passed property tax increases at least 3 times while he was in office. Tell me where are all these libertarian men I'm hearing about, because that's not what I understand.
Oh, speaking of whole taxes thing, did you guys see the new informed welfare law in Maine? Because he said that he does not think that able-bodied people should not work for their welfare.
And this was directed at Congress or who?
This was Maine specifically because of the fact that the governor said that able-bodied people able to work should work and therefore should work at least a 20-hour work week to be able to get any kind of welfare, food stamps, health, etc.
Now, does that also count if they're like on the Maine legislature? Speaking of not working and existing on the dole.
That's awesome.
I'm Bob Dole.
That's the funniest thing all night.
While I was in the bathroom, I heard talking about what made you become a libertarian. So I've always been like an artist and kind of like a rebel, and I didn't even know that the word libertarian existed because I hate politics. But when I was introduced to the ideas of it, I was like, oh, I already am one. You know, like I didn't have to change a whole lot of anything to already be there. You know, so when I moved here, because I got divorced and I moved here, and then I had to literally sort through every single thing that I had of mine. I found this paper I wrote when I was like in 7th or 8th grade, and it was just a total rant on how much the government sucked. And I was like,
that's so cool.
It was a speech I had to give in front of the whole class, and I didn't keep a lot of stuff from it because that period of my life really blew. But I kept that paper, and I was like, this is awesome. I was like, I cannot believe I kept this. So
that is so awesome.
Yes, I didn't have to change anything to be this. I just am. So that's how that happened.
Like, do you feel that was a part of your upbringing when you were growing up, or where do you think that comes from?
Were staunch Republicans, and I didn't like them either. So I just, you know. Yeah, I love my parents, don't get me wrong, but like I didn't like their rules, and you know, and yeah, I'm from the South, so everything's yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, you know.
So my parents were kind of harsh too, and I didn't like that shit. I don't like being told what to do. I wonder how many people just don't like being told what to do thanks to their parents, and now they're like, fuck the government.
Thank you.
Well, I think one of the best libertarian candidates years ago, Mike Badnarik, he gave a good little speech on this. He said, you know, why do people move out of their house, out of their parents' house? why do they move out? And that was really his big question. It was freedom. When it's told what to do. And so you have to extrapolate that to politics, and most people just don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
And we understand simple principles of just being left alone and do unto others. That's the golden rule of libertarianism. It's just do unto others what you have them do to you. And if you can follow that, it's the rest of it falls in place. It's a solid principle.
When I wrote that speech, I was going to a Christian school. And we had these pep rallies every Friday, and I was not into sports. I was into art, and they had canceled art, so I didn't have any art for 2 years at the school, like before I left in the public school. And so I had like no outlet for me whatsoever. But I had to attend these pep rallies every single Friday, where we had to cheer on the local sports, what the hell ever. And I refused to stand for the school alma mater, like me and these 3 other girls. And just completely just didn't do it. And so that went on for like 3 Fridays in a row. And then they were like, if you don't stand for the alma mater, you're going to get a Saturday detention. I didn't stand, and I just kept not standing. I was at school a hell of a lot on Saturdays. Driving school buses and shit. But I refused to stand. I was like, this doesn't mean shit to me. Like this whole team spirit, whatever. There's nobody on my team, So screw y'all.
Nice. So you know what? I think there's something to be said where people want to comment on the number of libertarian women or anarchists or however you define that or whatnot. You know what? It's not the numbers; it's the quality that counts. Okay, and I gotta say, our libertarian anarchist women are outstanding. I mean,
yeah, it's very interesting because I think Claire Wolfe maybe several years ago basically noted that. The libertarian women are like heavily lean toward the anarchist side of that spectrum. So. Well,
and we've had some amazing libertarian women on this show. Megan Kellison Lords, a.k.a. MK Lords of Bitcoin Not Bombs and various Bitcoin shows. She's a young woman who is a badass, all by she's accomplishing incredible things at a very, she's really just rocking the house, and with not that many years of experience behind her, but she's just we've got Kirsten, who's running the Fully Informed Jury Association,
Annie.
Annie. We've got, and of course, Ruby, who just, is just like, our rock of don't tell me what to do, fuck you. But anyway, I could go on and on and on and on. So when everybody bitches about not enough of, women in the liberty movement, I immediately suspect that they're full of shit themselves, and something's wrong with them.
I really like the ladies involved with free aid. They've done a really, really good job, I think.
Guys.
Like what I like about them is they do something useful. like they do something practical that outside of the libertarian movement, anyone could be like, yeah, I would be interested in that. They're not just like, academic or, political. They actually do something useful.
Well, I don't want to generalize, but would you say that, I don't know, I think there might be something, I'll get in trouble now for generalizing, but, women have sort of a nurturing, there's something about nurturing and womanhood that go together, okay? Yes, feminists, shoot me down, okay? But when I see the activities that some of our outspoken libertarian women are involved in, it often involves stuff like for instance, up in New Hampshire, the what was called Shire Sharing from Amanda up there, Shire Sharing. She provides like Thanksgiving meals for hundreds of families every year, and she's done it ever since like her dad did it when she was a kid.
Yeah, I read a story that was really awesome. She was talking about her dad and how she did that in memory of him.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And look what Megan is involved in down in Pensacola. She does all this Bitcoin stuff, but it's also Hoodie the homeless and working with Sean's Outpost down there and helping. There's this charitable component just seems to resonate. I think. I don't know. Am I sexist for saying that more women seem to be attracted to these kind of nurturing things than let's end the Fed or something like that? What do you think, Kirsten?
I couldn't answer that.
Okay,
sorry.
Never mind. Ruby,
Well, I don't
as
know.
the other designated female.
I spent this week being called a moral degenerate who should stay chaste all my life because I don't want kids. So I wouldn't know anything about nurturing. So.
But even Fully Informed Jury Association is extremely nurturing, and it's charitable. It's extending a hand to the most needy of our culture. I mean, there's no denying
I think a lot of the
that.
women involved in free aid don't want to have children, and I can only think of one of them that actually even has kids, and that's Teresa. But I'd love to have kids, and I love kids. I don't have any, but I maybe would like to. But I think you're right. I think that's part of maybe some women's maternal instinct is to give of themselves, and it doesn't take the government. I think what they're proving is it doesn't take the government to do the same things that the government tries to do very poorly. They can do it better without the government.
Well, that's a given. We don't even need to. But I am just curious because it seems like this topic of, well, where are the females, or what are the females, or what about the low, or maybe those libertarians are a bunch of sexist assholes, or maybe they're, But I just think that we have to look in different corners to see where people are thriving. And if libertarians come to me and say, well, I don't have any females in our libertarian thing, I'm like, well, what kind of activities are you doing? What are you, are you?
But are they just looking at it as a dating scene? Because here's another thing that I'm thinking of as you're saying this. I know tons and have almost all the women on my newsfeed are either people I went to high school with, which is like a handful, people in my family, or they're libertarians. But you know what they are too? They're mothers of libertarian men's children. And so that doesn't leave them necessarily a whole lot of time to be completely active in the community. They're not part of the dating scene. They might not be coming to the meetings because they're home feeding kids, and taking care of the families, but they're definitely there.
Plus, you don't need that many libertarian women when they're all poly.
Wow.
In fact, it's probably better. It's probably better we have a lower ratio because the men are just not going to be able to satisfy a lot of women.
Right, especially the libertarians I see at libertarian party events.
Here's the thing that has bothered me for a long time. So there's the Ladies of Liberty Alliance. It's supposed to be getting more women into the movement. But what is their calendar? They have a Ladies of Liberty calendar. How does that attract women? For the most part, that's not attracting women. We need a Lads of Liberty calendar.
Yes.
That's what I think. Get our libertarian male beefcakes on a calendar, and then watch the women come pouring in.
You know what?
Hey! Why do they gotta be beefcakes?
Hey,
we may have to branch out and grant you that in our movement.
Are you trying to say you're anti-feminist? You like to objectivize guys? Come on!
I'm saying it's a marketing strategy. That's all. Marketing.
Listen, you know what I think you should do is come out with a printed shirt with a really handsome guy all over it, okay? And do all of your media appearances wearing this shirt, and suggestive poses with a little bit of skin showing.
Comment, though.
Also,
right?
Science.
I have the best idea for a calendar ever that would attract both sexes and would probably sell out really fast. How about Pets of Liberty? And then we can just take cute-ass pictures of everybody's Liberty pets And then men and women, and you can be like, look, and you come to Pork Fest, and you get to play with all these animals.
Jim, what?
Gotta be cats only.
No.
Nope.
I'm allergic to
Cat
cat calendar.
No, cats are anarchists. Dogs are status.
Whatever.
Have you ever seen
Dogs
a police
actually
cat?
know how to get along in the community voluntarily, which makes them automatically not libertarian.
Are you not a fan of Campaign for a Longer Leash? Have you not been exposed to this?
Have you ever seen my dog defiantly oppose me by taking a shit on my floor? So
when I had a dog, she used to revenge pee in the middle of the night between the guest room and the bathroom whenever I had a guest. Like she was explaining to them where their place was.
That's awesome.
I don't know. I think the more libertarian pet is a ferret. It's just like weird. It kind of smells.
The true libertarian pet is not a pet. Like, if you're a pet,
a wild animal
it's very
that just
hard to
through your
Exactly.
window. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a honey badger.
It is a honey badger.
Yeah, don't give a fuck.
I believe he didn't give a shit. Actually,
No.
I don't know. Who here listens to Freedom Fiends? You guys, Freedom Fiends fans?
When I'm mowing.
Only
you're
when they're
mowing?
talking about Stefan Molyneux. Those are my very
It's on
favorite
every-
episodes.
It comes up every show. Every show they have to stop and say, "Look, we said we weren't going to talk about him anymore,
And
but."
every time they say they're not going to talk about him anymore, I'm like, no.
Like,
They're really good at bagging on him.
anytime it's time to mow, I go to iTunes and I'm like, all right, pick the best sounding show name of the last, like, however many days. You can listen to it while you mow.
That's a great idea.
It's probably my fault that we don't listen to podcasts because I became like I have PTSD from listening to too many people talk for too many years. So I get like
You got a PTSD from listening to too many podcasts.
I get really agitated when I hear like too many talk shows and stuff, and I don't know. So I can't do it.
Well, you should. You know what? Freedom Fiends is meant for you because it's got these rejuvenative radio waves.
And
I forget what it says. It's bombarding your
actually-
cerebellum. I don't know. It's
They're-
funny.
yeah, they have really good sound. Like, it is creamy radio. I
Yeah.
do like their audio quality, and it makes me a lot less annoyed than that, like, AM sounding hard rock, Rush Limbaugh kind of talk shows that you'll hear sometimes.
I know, but I wish they wouldn't talk about it in every episode I listen to.
Yeah, good luck with that. That is the problem with they feel the need to repeat themselves a lot. But I'm a big fan of the Fiends, especially Derek J. When Derek J's on with Bill Bupert. Okay.
I'm just gonna have to interrupt to say, yeah, we're rocking the shades at this point. Ruby and Friend. I don't know the other guy's name, but he's rocking the shades. And James is just rocking the guys like, I don't care about the bench. He's like, I don't care about the homeless. He's been rocking that for like half an hour now.
I guess I should get rid of
I
that.
went laid
Okay.
down somewhere. He's like, I'm done with the show. I don't need to be on camera anymore. I'm done. It's over. Oh, now he's back.
There we go. All right, I'm back.
I gotta make some more water. I'll be right back.
I got part of the
Does that mean he's taking a leak, or what? What is that? What does that mean?
making. I want to point out, as officially living in Colorado, you're welcome for the fresh water that we've already peed out. Because
I believe your water comes from Montana's rivers. I believe it.
We live on this side of the Mississippi. We live on this side of the Mississippi, so Colorado.
But we can pee in the Missouri headwaters, and I think Colorado will get it.
Do it.
I've been to
Do
the
it now.
actual divide, the continental
We'll wait.
divide.
Go do that, and then
You're welcome, West Coast. You're welcome, East Coast. Both sides are officially welcome. Given to both.
In Montana, we can pee into 3 watersheds. If you go up to the Continental Divide, there's actually a place where it's a triple point, and you can pee into the Arctic watershed or whatever. I don't know what it's called. But
all in one session. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it depends on your range, I guess.
Wait a few minutes.
I don't think it would be that hard. I haven't tried it, but I feel confident I could pull it off in one try.
Okay.
So another exciting thing about Montana is that our legislature meets every other year. We don't have a legislative session every year, so.
So I gotta say, Chris, as the host, you're actually kind of quiet. Like I didn't expect you to be so darn quiet during the show. Or are you muted and we just don't know?
He just like wants to take over.
My connection has been going in and out. I wonder if that's what's going on.
You do look like Thelma.
I look like Thelma. I'm Thelma from Scooby-Doo. I just need a purple shirt. Hey, where'd my glasses go? I can't see anything.
Sorry, I'm wayfaring over here.
Like, you read maps. Are you reading maps, Scott? Like, I don't know. I'm lost. This show's gone completely off track.
That's the bullshit! That's why it's great. There is no track. It's like an abstract thought continuum. It's just like, oh, and I thought about this.
I thought I explained that this is a very decentralized show.
It's just whoever can take control of it, right? Like whoever can tell the rest of y'all shut up and listen to me.
Whoever has the loudest mic.
Well, loudest megaphone. Loudest megaphone wins.
We should get Alex Jones.
Get Alex Jones. I don't know. I used to kind of respect him. I still kind of do, but honestly, I think Alex Jones, he's like 80% news and 20% like stop giving him bad ideas. Just stop.
The juice boxes are turning our children gay.
Look at these. Look at this field of wire and fences, and oh my God, they're gonna lock you up here, and they're looking at it going, that's a good idea. That place is good. We could totally lock people up there.
That actually has come true.
Thanks, Alex Jones. You've really helped. We appreciate your assistance.
That actually did come true. A few years ago, he came out to Hardin, Montana, where we had that big jail scandal where
with that Baltic States people, like.
Yeah. Well, that prison now has inmates. It actually finally did get actual government business. So.
Thanks to Alex Jones.
Thanks, Alex Jones.
Yeah. And for a little while, I had great hopes for the place. It was supposedly they were trying to shop it out as a paintball arena of some sort, and I was like, okay, that I can get on board with. But no, we're locking people up.
Well, there's still a lot of hippies not in jail, so I get it.
I used to, or at least read his RSS feed for news to some degree, and then a couple years ago in Austin, when John Bush and Catherine Blythe were doing this Second Amendment thing, and he came down there and like took it over with a megaphone and like made it into this big spectacle and talked like shit to Cat. I was like, I'm done with anything that guy ever has to do. Does anybody remember that?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least I heard about it after the fact. We're like, yeah, I think they'd even invited him to be a speaker at the event, and he just instead just wanted to like just show up and disrupt the whole thing.
So I have a friend who is like looking up some information on him, and it turns out he is a very young guy. I did not. He seems so old, but like his voice sounds like I would guess he's in his 50s, but he is younger than me.
He's probably like 41, 42.
I think he was. I want to say he's like 40 now. I think he was
Does
39
he
at the
smoke a
time we
lot?
looked. I don't know. But it sure sounds like it from his voice, doesn't it?
He's like, we're here at Infowars.com. We're eating cat turds in overdrive. Urgh!
He was born in
Ready?
1974.
There's no food and people are gonna come at you and you gotta shoot them. Are you ready? This bad's gonna happen.
Alex Jones is 40. He sounds like he's 50.
Wow, that makes
54
me
to
feel
me.
so
No,
old.
he's not really 40.
I
is he?
know.
Wow, it makes me.
Look
that
it
makes
up on
me feel
Wikipedia.
old now.
Oh shit.
I know. We actually started a hashtag for a little while. You were either older than Alex Jones or younger than Alex Jones.
You know, I do have a mustache, but it's not quite this bad. I think I need to wax. Kind of looks like Jim Babs.
I'm sporting my best Bob Barr impersonation over here.
Oh, Nick took it back.
Oh.
I can't be Thelma with a mustache.
Give me a cigar. There you go.
Everyone with cigar with mustaches. Let's do this.
Steven, you had a Frida Kahlo there for a minute.
I don't know. We got a smoky weather system moving in.
Wait. Colorado. We should move to Colorado.
I want to move to Colorado. I've never even been there, but I'm like, I want to go.
Well, Chris,
That's
you've lived there.
I've been here long enough that I can say, "Don't come."
What? Why?
Stay away. No, we got enough. We got enough people moved here.
The weed taxes are too high for me.
You don't have enough people
Right.
moving there.
Now the weed taxes are too high. I'm never moving there.
They're actually 25%.
That's outrageous.
That's 25%. So
How
you
much
can-
does Tom Warner charge in tax?
Damn, I could get a better deal from my drug dealer.
You know, it really annoys me when so many people are like, "Oh, tax and regulate," because you look at that guy in New York who was killed supposedly over cigarette taxes. Like, you can't open up any door like that and say, "Oh, this is about freedom." You know, if you're going to open up the door for people to get killed over freaking taxes.
Well, if I can grow my own somewhere, I would just grow my own.
You can do that in all 50 states.
Yeah, in Colorado
Don't
as
get
well.
caught.
Yeah. 6 plants per adult. So I recommend if you're gonna be coming to Colorado, grow your own stuff. You know, it's probably
Or stay home and grow your own, but just
or,
don't
yeah,
get caught.
just stay in.
Don't get caught.
I have some experience in this department.
I
Don't get caught.
I almost know politics. That's crazy. Like the mantra of the politician: "Don't get caught."
You were high when you thought of that, weren't you, Jim Babs?
when I thought of gardening, yes, yes. I thought, you know what, gardening seems like a great idea. What could go wrong? Little did I know, but now I know.
Invisible Man. That was awesome.
Okay,
I'm doing that again.
hang on.
Some of them do a nap.
Yeah, normally vapor doesn't bother me, but we what are you
I'm
doing?
trying to put it on my. Go off screen. There. There's the bullshit part.
Now.
That's why we require high alcohol content beers for this show. Because if
that.
you're
Do that.
that's not funny.
So, yeah.
Somebody say something.
The blackout stout is. I'm drunk.
Because you're drunk?
Yes.
Wow, quick.
Don't black out, right?
Take long.
I made a promise to him that if he got too drunk, I'd take him to bed, you know, carry him to bed, or
Call Uber. Call up Uber for him.
Uber.
all kinds of
Uber,
stuff. Maybe
I need.
help me get him in bed.
Ruby, you play your cards right. I think your odds are good.
It's like that Pakistani kid lives next door. Come here, Uber. Take him to the bedroom.
I would totally be an Uber driver if I got my concealed carry permit.
Isn't Lyft the one with the pink mustache? I think that one's better.
Yes, Lyft. Well, that's actually. Think about it like this: you're gonna show up somewhere with the ride in a pink mustache.
I think that is hilarious.
I would love a pink one. I would wear a pink mustache.
And then you,
I'm
like
afraid.
14 other clowns pour out, you know, and then that's hilarious. So that's what Lyft is to me. Like, you know, you call Lyft like a bunch of clowns pour out of your car.
Which ones take Bitcoin?
Oh, none of them. I don't know. Do any of them take Bitcoin?
I think one of them does.
See, here's the thing. I use Lyft. I still don't know how to tip them. I've never figured out how to actually tip those guys. So Bitcoin, you know, really, we're at a fucking crossroads here. We'll never figure this out. Like I can't tip my Uber driver. So
I don't think you're supposed to. I don't think you're supposed to accept tips. Because my friend Nikki used them. I don't know. My friend Nikki used them the other day though, and she said that she posted on Facebook about it, and she said they can't accept tips. So the tip I gave him was I sat in the car for an extra 5 minutes. I set him up with a Bitcoin wallet, and I tipped him some Bitcoin and got him started on Bitcoin.
Nice.
Well, okay, well there's her. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I'm just saying.
The last time I used Lyft, I told the guy.
Did you hear about these Halloween stories where these people got like 9 times charged, you know, for their trip because it was high peak activity or whatever?
Yeah, and they took like an hour-long drive, and it like got charged $600.
No, it was just like a $600 ticket. Like that's a huge ticket. Obviously, I have zero sympathy because they're like, you know, it's the buyer beware. They're telling you. They have to tell you this stuff.
Well,
So-
and it's a built-in, you know, demand. You know, it's to curb demand during peak times. You know, it's a good way. It's like, you know, it's like saying, well, you know, can you charge $10 for a bottle of water, you know, during a drought? Well, yeah, that's the best way to get the resources to those who need them the most. It sucks for people that weren't aware of that, but my understanding is it's explicitly clear, and you'd have to be wasted not to be aware of that.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
You have to actually type it in. Like you have to type in the acceptance that is 9.5 times your normal fare. Like I have no sympathy for this. I don't know where the hell we were going, but really, Uber, it just has a good name. Lyft, you show up with a pink mustache car, and you and like 15 other friends, you know, all dressed with your big floppy shoes, and that's what I'm seeing when you get out of the car. So, Lyft is probably cheaper, right?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I have a car and I don't go anywhere to get a cab, so I can't even remember the last time I was in a cab.
I just had a very, very sad thing happen.
Oh no.
It's Bitcoin related.
Uh-oh. Your account got hacked, and you lost all your Bitcoin.
No, much more tragic than that. So
like
Beacon started taking Bitcoin donations, and right now we have $1,000 a day limit on our account. And I just got a notice that someone tried to make a donation more than that and couldn't.
Whoa.
People. What kind of role
I don't
is
know
that?
who it was, so I don't know how to be like, wait 5 days while I get this taken care of. I'm gonna be I'm so sad. That was the saddest thing that has happened
Who are
all
you
year.
taking donations? Like, who are you
Your
using?
$1,000 donation is now bullshit and beer famous.
What
Well,
was that?
Why do you have $1,000 limit? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Do you have a
'cause-
Bitcoin address?
You have to, with BitPay, you have to do certain things to get your
Fuck
limit
BitPay.
raised.
Fuck them. Fuck that shit. Fuck that. You just give out your
Yeah.
Bitcoin address and you've got it.
We
That's all
don't. We
you
don't
need.
have a Bitcoin address. We have it set up so that it just deposits
Get
it
rid
in
of that
cash.
shit. Get
Yeah,
rid of that.
someday
And plus-
may, but I have to figure out what the tax implications are. As I understand it,
So,
Bitcoin is not treated like a cash donation, so I have to figure out what we have to do to.
There are no tax implications.
It falls under don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah,
Really?
that doesn't work for a 501c3. I have to
Pull out
do
on
certain things
judicial stuff.
to
Bitcoin.
do
Well,
certain
now
things to
listen,
keep
I
my
don't give
board.
legal advice. I
Right.
don't give legal advice, and I'm not an economist, and I don't
Mhm.
know that much about Bitcoin even. But what I
Mhm.
would suggest is when you give out a Bitcoin address, just
Mhm.
keep it rotating. Don't always have the same Bitcoin address. So that
That's
way when
just-
anybody wants to look and see how much you've collected on Bitcoin, well, they know what's on that address, but not necessarily the other one.
Yeah.
So keep it. If I had a nonprofit and I was taking donations, I would keep it moving.
Yeah.
Keep it rotating.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
so
you
nobody
use
can be
the
too
32
sure how
wallet
much
and
money
give
I've
it different-
collected. But you're a nonprofit anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
Like the Capones, you know.
you would think that the IRS wouldn't care,
You have
but
multiple accounts. You got to
I
do
think
codes.
they get upset about anything that is anti beneficial to themselves. We'll
Oh,
say.
wait, we're still live, so pay your taxes.
Yeah.
Pay your right.
Taxes.
Well, even live or not, I keep it extraordinarily like squeaky clean because it's not just me. It's we have a board of directors. We have
I get it.
lists
I know.
associated with us. So
Well, did you keeping the same Bitcoin address for your contributions is how Molyneux got busted. Like people are like, oh well, let's check the blockchain. Turned out he got like hundreds of thousands of dollars in Bitcoin just like sitting there in his account.
what
And
happened
then
to
he's
it?
like begging for more money and stuff, and everybody's like, well, I don't know. You seem like that's. I don't know how much you got on PayPal.
like,
But your Bitcoin account is flush. So
We need to organize a Molyneux money bomb where everyone donates like 50 cents.
on PayPal, it's got to be through PayPal.
50 cents. That's way too much.
It's like there'll be one big day where thousands of people send him 50
I'm
cents.
libertarian. You got to remember this. I don't have any money.
Exactly.
I would be happy to give you 50 cents
Lucky if
to
you got 10
contribute.
cents.
I think that would be the funniest thing. Can you just
I got
picture
plenty of
his head
spare
like
time.
steaming?
We should get Jeff Berwick on here.
He is drinking again.
I did it for 2 days and wanted to kill himself.
I wish I could get invited to an Acapulco.
Oh my god.
Yeah, me too, man. Jim, let's just go.
Well, my friend Ken was invited to be a speaker, but he has to cover his own travel costs. So I think that's the deal with an Acapulco. Hey, you want to be on the bill? Great. Don't ask for a plane ticket. Which kind of makes sense. I don't know how you could do a show in Acapulco and fly people in. I mean, I don't know. Berwick has like billionaire friends on his block, but I don't know if they want to bankroll him.
Fuck that. I'm going to whatever that Caribbean island is on March 17th.
The Bit Drop and Dominica.
March 14th, that's it. Dominica.
Yeah.
Really?
What about you, Kirsten? Are you going to Dominica for the Bit Drop?
No.
No. Yeah, that sounds great.
Every person in Dominica is going to get $10 in Bitcoin on March 14th.
How are you getting there, James? You can't fly.
I'm a good swimmer.
You're a good swimmer.
I haven't actually left my house in days. Like I've literally not stepped outside in days. So you know.
Wait. Speaking of flying, I got to tell you guys something real quick. So 2 weeks ago, I missed the show because I had to go to Oregon. But
We missed you.
I know. When I got to go to Oregon on the company jet, and flying on a private plane is nothing at all like flying through the TSA.
Of course it's not.
I had never experienced such a thing, and I'm glad I got to do it once in my life. I brought a knife just because.
Did you use it?
Because just a knife. That's it.
Thank you for refraining from hijacking the plane since it was so defenseless to your knife.
I know,
Did you
and
get
like
to use it?
on the way back, the cockpit is open to the rest of the cabin, and we were flying over the Rockies, and it was a full moon, and I looked down the front window, and I was like, oh my god. So I like walked up there, and I was like, can I just stand here and look for a minute? And they're like, yes, no charge.
Wow, that's amazing.
That was pretty neat, and I'm glad I got to do it once, but I need a jet.
See, they won't let James. He'll be like, cool. And then he'll try to open the door because he's a terrorist.
No, there was no
Actually,
door.
I flew to Phoenix. Was it I guess last year or early this year? Yeah, for the Freedom Summit. I actually flew, and reminded me of why I don't fly. It was terrible. It's horrible. I don't recommend it.
Montana's what are they? Naked X-ray scanner things actually got confiscated, and I understand we don't have them in our airports anymore. And the last time, not the last time, a few times ago, but post TSA, I went to pick someone up at the airport, and I had a friend with me, and he was able to open carry in the airport, and no one even batted an eyelash.
Wow.
Yeah, we did that.
We weren't past
We all
the
flat.
TSA checkpoint,
No,
mind
no,
you, but
okay.
still.
That was Texas, right? Did I hear Texas?
Montana.
Oh.
Montana.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Montana. I don't
Yeah.
even think you can open carry in Texas.
You can't open carry a handgun.
Really?
Yeah, you can open carry a rifle for some fucking reason, but
So
you can't do it.
strange.
That's Arizona, right? Yeah. Bring your rifle to the airport. Everyone's
Arizona,
welcome.
you can open carry a handgun. That I'm sure of.
I've done that myself.
Yeah.
It was no big deal. You're just like,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, what I really like about Montana is you go in the hippie natural foods grocery store open carrying and no one says anything.
That's good.
You know, it's one thing if you go to a Tea Party meeting open carrying, you expect no one to say anything. But when you can go to the hippie grocery store, that's awesome.
All right. Let's wind this down a little bit.
All right, Captain Buzz.
Oh, why?
Because Chris is bored with us. I'm bored. I got to get to work tomorrow.
Hey,
It's like, this is neat, but great, whatever.
hey, Steven, thank you for coming on to the show.
Yeah, I'll get drunk with you anytime, I guess.
Okay. We'll have you on again sometime. And Kirsten,
Thank you for having me.
and accept my Facebook request now, please.
I'll look for it. What's your last name?
Mine too. I need like 4 libertarian girls on my list. Like, yeah,
Oh, is that what this is about? Oh, shutting it down.
too, I'm not here.
I see
Not
how
that
it
one.
is.
Maybe, I don't know. Just met.
Look, I know a female.
Why do you think they
I'll
let me?
whatever before you were. That's fine.
Chris, what's your last name?
Bennett.
Thank you.
I've noticed on the beer and bullshit show we've had, you know, in contrary to a lot of shows, okay, we've had quite a few women on the show, so you know.
And
you
they're
can't,
always badasses, I must
and they're
say.
always badasses, right? So you can't say that we're like sexist or anything, you know, not having women on. You know, I even
Notice
want
our
to.
plain T-shirts with no graphics of females on them of any kind.
and 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 I think I've dedicated February. I'm searching for 3 females to be on the show on 3 shows in February. So why not?
That's
Jen's
sexy.
coming. Jen from Cop Block's going to join us sometime soon.
Right.
Ernie wants to come back too. Just FYI.
We've trailed off from February. What February? What? Like what? I'm gonna start hosting here on the Beer and Bullshit Show with Chris and James and Kirsten and Ruby and friends wearing sunglasses and mustaches, and Scott, who's been looking at a map and talking on his phone for the past 20 minutes. We have no idea what happened there. We are totally drinking beer, making new friends, seeing old friends.
Scott got pissed off because he was reading the Constitution.
I'm reading the Constitution because that's what you do on the Beer and Bullshit Show.
There you go.
That's your intro forever and ever.
I want to.
Welcome. So fucking welcome.
I want everybody to have a good, you know, next couple weeks. And I believe the next show is in 2 weeks. So.
But join me, we're eating cat turds on overdrive.
I'm not eating cat anything.
Whatever. You'll eat what I give you. Bye.
All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us, Kirsten.
As long as we didn't end it weird. That's all I care about. I'm going to end it weird.
I'm out.
All right.